Do you need a new start? Do you know what a resolution is? Here in the beginning of a new year, we often talk about New Year's resolutions. And a resolution is just a decision to do something new, a new start for you. But does the thought of that get you a little bit depressed? Do you feel the pressure of doing something new, or do you feel a world of possibilities when you think of a new start and some resolutions? Well, either way, today I want to give you 6 new phrases that you can use in English to talk about these resolutions, this new start in your life. Hi, I'm Phil. I teach English here in the Czech Republic at Mayak. I'm glad you've joined me today. Our first phrase about new starts is to break new ground. To break new ground. So this means to do something completely different or in a completely new way, and usually with a positive result. This phrase comes from literally breaking ground, like breaking the soil. When there's a new building to be built, before any of the foundations even laid, they usually do a special groundbreaking ceremony where a few very important people will take their shovels and they will dig into the ground and break the ground, start something new on that land before the building has even begun to be built. But you could break new ground without having to take a shovel and go into the earth. We can use this phrase in different ways to break new ground. We can talk about a film and say that that film broke new ground with its use of computer-generated imagery. That film broke new ground with its use of computer-generated imagery. It did something brand new, or at least in a different way, and it was exciting. That wasn't the end of it, but that was just the beginning of the new things that would happen in film because of that. Have you broken any new ground recently? Maybe at work, maybe in your personal life? Something that's been done in a totally new or different way, and you feel like, aha, this is the start of something new. Next is start with a clean slate. Start with a clean slate. This means you start completely over again, and you're not worried about any of the past mistakes that you had made or the way that you had done it in the past, whether good or bad. You're starting with a clean slate. Everyone who comes to this school starts with a clean slate. Everyone who comes to this school starts with a clean slate. And this is really good news, especially for somebody who has made some maybe mistakes at another school in the past. But if they can come into this school and they will have a clean slate, all those past mistakes aren't held against them here, but they can start over completely new, completely fresh. I'd like you to write in the comments about a time that you started with a clean slate and you really, really needed it. You were in a new place or a new group and you really needed to start over. You needed a clean slate and you were able to do that. Write that in the comments, please. Turn over a new leaf. Turn over a new leaf. This means to act better or maybe in a more responsible way. To act better or in a more responsible way. The guy promised his boss that he would turn over a new leaf and work harder in this next year. He promised his boss that he would turn over a new leaf and work harder this year. Probably that means that he had not worked as hard as he could have in the previous year. And he said, I want to start something new. I want to do something differently. I want to work harder this year. That's how I will turn over a new leaf. Do you have a new lease on life? Do you have a new lease on life? This means when you have a new, fresh start and you're really excited about the possibilities to come. You're excited about what might happen in the future. It looks good. It looks hopeful to you when you have a new lease on life. Maybe you've lived in physical pain for a long time and you didn't see any end in it. And finally you found a doctor who was able to do a surgery on you, an operation. And you went ahead and had this operation. And after the operation, your body felt different. And you felt like you had hope. You could do things that you hadn't been able to do in years. And you could very much say, I have a new lease on life. This operation has given me a new lease on life. It's sort of like you have a new reason to live. You have a renewed hope in the possibilities that are to come. A new lease on life. Okay, it's back to the drawing board. It's back to the drawing board. When you talk about going back to the drawing board, it means that a plan of yours that you tried was somehow not successful. And it means you have to go back and think up a new plan or try your plan again in a new way, but it means something wasn't successful and you need to try it again from the very beginning. Back to the drawing board. The company went back to the drawing board to make a better product. The company went back to the drawing board to make a better product. This means that the company tried to make their product, and somehow their product was not successful. It wasn't exactly what they needed and wanted, and so they had to scrap that and start all over again, back to the drawing board. And finally, the early bird catches the worm. The early bird catches the worm. This means, maybe you know it, the person that takes the earliest opportunity will soon gain an advantage over the other ones because they started first, they went after it first, and so they'll probably have an advantage over all the others in the time to come. You probably know about Black Friday in the United States. It's a crazy time of shopping, and we could hear this maybe with store advertisements. And some store will say, for these sales, the store opens at 7 o'clock in the morning, so the early bird catches the worm. The stores open at 7 in the morning, so the early bird catches the worm. What they're saying is, it's first come, first served. We only have our products for a little while, so if you come early, you'll get it. You have a much better chance of getting it. If you come later, sorry, these early people have an advantage over you. I'd like to take a little deeper moment here at the end and see what you think about New Year's resolutions. I think a lot of people have strong opinions about them. And as much as this is an easy topic to talk about as an English teacher, everybody talks about New Year's resolutions at the beginning of a year. I think a lot of people actually don't like them, and I think a lot of people actually don't make them and use them anymore. I think a lot of people have seen failures in this, and they just say, we don't need them, and I totally understand. How about you? What's your opinion about New Year's resolutions? I have a little tip for you. I read a really interesting book called Atomic Habits recently, and it reframes this idea of resolutions and makes it into just little habits. Because these big resolutions we have, they start with just little habits in our life. So, what would it look like if you thought of one or two little habits that you could tack on to the time when you wake up in the morning? Or you could put during your lunch break. You could do one little thing during your lunch break. Study some certain English flashcards for 10 minutes at lunch every day. Imagine what would happen after that time. All kinds of New Year's resolutions could work out in your favor if you just changed a couple little habits. So I challenge you to think about your life and think about a few short 5 to 10 minute challenges that you could give yourself on any given day to make a much bigger change in your life, but do it step by step throughout the days of the year. Thanks so much for watching today. I know you could find English stuff all over on the internet and you decided to stop here. So thanks a lot and check out the other videos. Have a good one.